One of the questions that keeps puzzling many is the question of what sin exactly is. And I think this is a question that people ask themselves each and every day. Um, the only provoking thing is this is that everyone is born with this nature in them, that they are sinful, that they are fallen short of God's glory. But I want us to get to understand what exactly is sin. Some people say these are bad things that we do. These it's probably missing the mark. Some people say it's everything that is wrong, out here. But I want to give us a definition, a theological definition, and this is by Wayne Gruden, and this is what it says. It says sin is failure to conform to God's moral law in three ways. One, through action. Two, through our attitude, and three, through our nature. Now, I think one of the most clear one is when you see somebody act, or when you see somebody respond. And I think this is the one that is very, very clear, and people see it out there, and the reason is because everyone sees it, everyone thinks that is exactly sin, because we can see it. But this brings us to the second part, which we talks about attitude, and attitude is about what you think, what you reason, what you process in your mind. And people don't look at this and think of sin, at any particular point. But this is the most. This is one of the most dwelt on by many people. People actually are focused on this because they know no one can know what they think, no one can know what they reason in their mind. So what do they go ahead by doing? They continue in that way of life, and they continue sinning. So the last one is pretty much general, because we are all born, sinners. That means by nature we are sinners. We have fallen short of the glory of God, and this is by the virtue of coming from the lineage of Adam and Eve, because Adam and Eve fell short of God's glory, in the Garden of Eden, right there. So each and every one that is born with this sinful nature that we have to fight with until Jesus comes, to take his church home with him. And my challenge to us today is we get to understand that sin is failure to conform. And this is the only particular time that I'm going to mention the word conform, because the word conform is actually mentioned in the Bible, but in a different connotation. But in this particular one, it talks about failure to conform. When we fail to conform to God's standards that he has set for us, this is in action, this is in what we think, and this is by our innate being, of us being sinners. We definitely fall into that mess. I call it mess, or that trap that is called sin. And God has set that standard for us. He is holy, and since he is holy, he's calling all of us to holiness. Because if you want to see yourself as a fallen man, a fallen woman, when I talk fallen, I talk about falling short of God's glory. What this means is that you can't stand in his presence at all. When you look at him, you can't withstand, his presence, because you're not walking right with him. And my prayer for us is that we get to understand what sin is, so that we may walk in light as we follow who Christ is. May God bless you, and may God keep you, even as you enjoy your cup